Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a normal difficulty item known as Culwen's Point. Culwen's Point is a rather generic war sword that can be obtained around level 29 and has some interesting stats, but it doesn't really stand out in any specific regard. If I found it, there's a good chance it could be the best item that I have at that particular time, but it's not like it's wowing or amazing. Now, Culwen's Point is a very nice amount of damage for level 29 of 14 to 36. It has a 45 dexterity requirement and 71 strength, and it is only level 29. It does have a very fast attack speed with +1 to all skills, which is certainly very nice at level 29. 20% increased attack speed, which is part of the reason why it is so fast. It has 20% faster hit recovery, which means it will help you defensively to keep you from getting stuck into faster hit recovery stun locks. 80% enhanced damage, which does vary by 10%. And we have a bonus attack rating of 60, as well as a poison length reduction of 50%. All in all, Culwen's Point is kind of a just mediocre sword. It is better than a lot of blue or rare items that you will find along your journey, but it is probably not better than a lot of other items that you could potentially put on instead. However, if you were a solo self-found character or a brand new ladder character, and you happen to come across a Culwen's Point, it certainly wouldn't be a bad sword to put on a lot of characters. And because it's not specifically a +1 to Paladin or +1 to Amazon or anything specific like that, it's very generic and can be used across the board on a large number of characters. It can be upgraded, and we will be upgrading it to the next tier. But before we do that, let's look at the ethereal version, which is 21 to 54, and has slightly lower stat requirements at 35 dex and 61 strength. Not bad. Now, this could be useful on a low-level Frenzy Barbarian Merc, because the Frenzy Barbarian Mercs cannot use two-handed weapons. They can only use one-handed. So it could be an interesting item to save for a Frenzy Barb. It could also work on a real Frenzy Barb as well if you didn't have anything better. Now, we're going to go ahead and upgrade this to its next tier, and this is going to go to the Exceptional tier. To do that, we're going to need a Ral Rune, a Soul Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. This is going to go from 14 to 36 damage, 45 dex, 71 strength, level 29, to 32 to 77 damage, 88 dexterity, 127 strength, level 34. Now, the level requirement didn't go up that much, but the freaking stat requirements went up way too much. 88 dex and 127 strength is way too high for a level 34 character, and it's a common problem among war sword, ancient swords. These particular swords, for some reason, just have really high stat requirements. Now, there is a nice side effect to having such high stat requirements, and that is that you end up with a nice bonus to the offhand weapon damage of 127%. Every 1 point of strength is worth 1% off weapon ED. And dexterity also has the side effect of giving you more attack rating, giving you more block chance, and so forth and so on. So forcing you to build these stats doesn't necessarily have a huge downside. You do get some kind of bonuses for bringing them up. Unfortunately, that does also mean, though, that you have less vitality and less HP to absorb hits, so keep that in mind. Now, the ethereal version can also be upgraded with a Ral, a Soul, and a Perfect Emerald. And this is going to go from 21 to 54, 35 dex, 61 strength, level 29, to 48 to 115, 78 dex, 117 strength, and level 34. Again, not a bad one for a low-level Frenzy Barb. Definitely better than the level 29 version. I'm not sure if I would upgrade these, maybe if I just didn't have anything better. Ral and Soul Runes are not super hard to come by. Early ladder, you can usually come by Ral Runes really easily. Soul Runes are a little bit rarer, and Perfect Emeralds can sometimes be rare at the beginning of ladder, but by the time you've spent a couple days in ladder, usually you've got quite a few Perfect Emeralds hanging around. I don't know if I would do the upgrade to the higher tier, but it could be useful in some niche situations, especially if you're having trouble finding a weapon, which is kind of common. There's been many times where I've leveled up a character and I just could not find a good weapon to save my life, and I ended up getting stuck in normal difficulty because I just didn't have a decent weapon to carry me into Nightmare. This could be a good way to force yourself into Nightmare for the time being, and hopefully find yourself something better when you're there. Let's upgrade this one more time to the Elite tier. To do that, we're going to need a Pole Rune, a Lum Rune, and a Perfect Emerald. Now, I don't believe this is going to be a good upgrade, mainly because of the very low enhanced damage on these weapons of 80%. But let's take a look and see. So 32 to 77, 88 dex, 127 strength, level 34. To 72 to 90, absolutely terrible. 124 dex, terrible. And 147 strength, terrible. And with level 78 requirement, absolutely terrible upgrade to the mythical sword. And the strength and dex are way too high for the stats that it provides. The damage is way too low, and the level requirement is way too high. The ethereal item is going to go from 48 to 115. 78 dex, 117 strength, level 34, to 108 to 135, 114 dex, 137 strength, and level 78. So very poor upgrade to Tier 3, a decent upgrade to Tier 2, but honestly, the Culwen's Point really shines at Tier 1, which is probably where it belongs. If you're looking to find this particular item, maybe you're a brand new ladder character and you'd like to get your hands on a Culwen's Point sword, we can certainly see if we can figure out where you could potentially find one. Let's pretend we have about 100% magic find. I feel like that's a good point for this particular item considering it's level 29. And we're going to go over to Silo's Pen and we're going to take a look and see what our drop chances are for this particular item. So right off the bat, you will see that we have a drop probability on this particular item for normal Diablo is not bad at 1 in 298. That actually looks like a really good choice. Because level 29, you're probably around normal Diablo or Act 5. And that is a pretty easy monster for you to farm at that particular point with a pretty good drop rate with only 100% magic find. Normal Bale also 1 in 320, and Nightmare and Dariel, which could be a good choice as you're going into Nightmare, of 1 in 351. Although I'd probably like to get this in normal before I transition into Nightmare. Let's take a look at super uniques and let's see if there's any good super uniques to farm. Nightmare Cow King is a good probability, but not a good choice for a level 29 character. Neelathak has 1 in 2,153 in normal difficulty. You could potentially farm him. He's rather easy to get to. I actually have a video up if you're interested. I go over exactly how to find Neelathak. There are actually very easy to learn mechanics as far as the map goes. And if you check out my video, I literally go through the process of showing you exactly how to find him very quickly, and you can farm Neelathak with extreme ease, both in normal, Nightmare, and Hell difficulties. So that might be a good choice if you're trying to get yourself a Culwen's Point early on. I feel like that might be your best choice, either that or Diablo, maybe both. Anyway, as always, I do hope that you enjoy my videos, and I hope that you got the point. Cheesy jokes. And as always, thanks for watching.